Dear brothers and sisters, as we all know, a Muslim is required to fulfill his obligation towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A Muslim is required to believe in the hereafter and devote his time and effort to fulfill the requirements of happiness in the hereafter. At the same time, a Muslim is required to take care of himself and his family and help out in the community that he lives in. He cannot live isolated totally from his surroundings. Actually, to get involved in his surrounding is a way for happiness in his hereafter, as long as he does his obligations towards his community and towards his fellow Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about the story of Qarun, that he was advised, وَابْتَغِ فِي مَا أَتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيا وأحسن كما أحسن الله إليك ولا تبغي الفساد في الأرض إن الله لا يحب المفسدين. That you should use whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you in this dunya, the blessings of Allah, provisions. وَابْتَغِ فِيمَا أَتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ. Use it for the benefit in the hereafter. Use your health, your wealth, your relationships, so that you succeed in the hereafter. وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيا. And do not forget your portion or your share in this dunya. What is the meaning? Do not وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيا. Do not forget your share in this dunya. It was explained by more than one explanation. One of them is that do not neglect yourself. Do not deprive yourselves of the halal blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed you to have in this dunya, meaning nice food, nice drink, nice place to live, enjoy the scenery that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. This is all وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيا. Do not make your life miserable when you can make it easy. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ أَنْ يَرَى أَثَرَ نِعْمَتِهِ عَلَى عَبْدِهِ. Allah, Prophet ﷺ says that Allah loves to see the signs of His blessing on His servant. You can't own millions and then you look like someone who doesn't own $10. This is not a way to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you show that Allah has blessed you, then you give a good notion about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when you're always complaining, this and this, and nothing's working out, and I'm not healthy, and I don't have any money, when the exact opposite is true, that is not right. The Salihin and some of the Sahaba and Tabi'een, even when they're sick, they used to try to pretend as much as possible as they were healthy. And they used to keep around them the food that healthy people eat when people visit them, so as not to show that they are sick. Showing the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. So this is one of the meanings. The other meaning is that وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيا. Do not forget to use this dunya for the benefit of the hereafter. So the meaning here would be a confirmation of the first meaning. وَابْتَغِ فِيمَا أَتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيا. Because whatever you gain in this dunya is what will last in the hereafter. Prophet ﷺ says, يقول ابن آدم مالي مالي وما لك من مالك إلا ما أكلت فأفنيت أو ما لبست فأبليت أو ما تصدقت فأبقيت وما سوى ذلك فذاهب وتارك. Says, the son of Adam says, my money, my wealth. He says, while the fact is that you do not own from your wealth except what you have already eaten or what you have already dressed, clothes, garments, or what you have given as sadaqah because that will be lasting for the future. He says, other than this, you will leave behind you. You will leave it alone. Because truly, if you have millions, but you've only enjoyed a few $100 in eating and drinking and dressing and making your life easy, and you've given sadaqah with another few $100, these are still lasting, you will enjoy them one day. But the other several $100,000, you as an individual, you benefit from it, you do not benefit from it. So this is the other meaning of وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيا. So the meaning is that a Muslim is required to balance his life so as to not allow the dunya to take him away from his obligations towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the same time, he is not required to neglect his dunya altogether. أقول قولي هذا استغفر الله عز وجل لي ولكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين ونصلي ونسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين اللهم صل على محمد النبي وأزواجه أمهات المؤمنين وذريته وآل بيته كما صليت على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. I'll give examples of ayat that talk about balancing dunya and akhirah. People used to go in Jahiliyyah for Hajj. Some of them used to go, it wasn't a true religion because they were Wathaniyin, they were pagans. So a lot of them didn't used to go because they believed in the idols, because most of them did not believe in them. But a lot of them used to go for trading, make money. So they go for Hajj and they would do the manasik of Hajj according to the traditions of Jahiliyyah at the time. They used to go for Hajj still. Why? Because it was what is left over from the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail. So some things were still left over. One of them was the Hajj. But it was all mixed with all these other pagan kinds of worship, the idols and everything. And the idols were around the Kaaba. But a lot of people just went for the money. After Islam, Sahaba felt that they did not feel it is right to go for Hajj and do any kind of trading. They did not feel that was right. So a lot of them abstained totally from doing any kind of trading. And then, of course, that was a financial loss for some of them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed them to do that. He says, لَيْسَ عَلَيْكُمْ جُنَاحٌ أَن تَبْتَغُوا فَضْلًا مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ. The meaning of this ayah, it talks about the Hajj. فَإِذَا أَفَضْتُم مِنْ عَرَفَاتٍ فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ عِنْدَ الْمَشْعَرِ الْحَرَامِ. So the meaning of this ayah is that there is no sin if you seek the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning the trade and favors of this dunya, along with your Hajj. So you go for Hajj. One time, someone asked Umar ibn Khattab, and he mentioned this ayah to them. He asked Umar ibn Khattab that I go for Hajj, but I go for trading as well. He says to him, when you go for Hajj, do you stand in Arafat like you're supposed to? He says, yes. Do you throw the Jamarat? He says, you stay in Mina? Yes. You make tawaf around Al-Kaaba? He says, yes. He says, then you have performed the proper Hajj. Don't worry about it. And then he mentioned this ayah to him, that Allah says, it is not a sin, it is not forbidden for you to go for Hajj, and at the same time, obtain some financial benefits from trading while you go there. So that is very important. But of course, if someone goes only for Hajj and has no other aim or intention behind that, that is a higher level. But is it haram to go for Hajj and obtain some financial benefits? It is not haram. It is not haram. Actually, most of the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you have to fulfill anyhow, they bring you blessings in your life. When you are commanded to abstain from alcohol and drugs, this is saving you money, isn't it? It is saving you a lot of money. It is saving your health. You are obtaining a lot of benefits in this dunya from just obeying the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you will find that the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you prosper, will help save you money, will help protect your health. Also, when people were sitting for Jum'ah, listening to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then some trade came, and they were very poor, and trade didn't come every day. They can't just go to the supermarket and get what they want. Things came every few months. Imagine if your family needs food, and you need some some necessities of life and you can only wait every month or every 2 months to get them, and there's not enough to get for everyone. So they were listening to Jum'ah, and then they heard the caravan coming. Very, very difficult, very stressful on them to try to provide the necessities of life. So a lot of the Sahaba left for the caravan. Allah blamed them for doing that, of course. Only 12 Sahaba were left behind listening to Prophet ﷺ giving Jum'ah. And it is, the Sahaba are better than all of us combined, each one of them. But still, you should know the hardship they were living in to understand this kind of reaction. And that was, of course, even before they were blamed for this, with this ayah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to them, وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً أَوْ لَهْوًا انفَضُّوا إِلَيْهَا وَتَرَكُوكَ قَائِمًا قُلْنَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ مِنَ اللَّهْوِ وَمِنَ التِّجَارَةِ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. But also Allah said in the Quran, in the same surah, فَإِذَا قُضِيَتِ الصَّلَاةُ فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. Whenever the salah is completed, then you can go and you can seek the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of this dunya. So He did not say to them that to seek dunya or to look forward to making money and to prosper is haram. It is not haram at all, as long as it did not contradict or it did not take you away from your obligations towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it takes you from Salat al-Jum'ah, that is haram, yes. If it takes you from your fara'id, that is haram. If, for instance, sometimes it takes you from some sunnah, that is not haram. That is not haram, because if you don't do the sunnah just because you don't have the energy to do it, this is not a sin. If you don't do, for instance, sunnah of Isha every now and then, because you were so tired, you came back late from work and you just had to sleep, that is not haram. Allah will not blame you for that. You will get reward for doing it, even if those that you are tired, even more reward that you are tired. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Surah Al-Muzammil, علم أن سيكون منكم مرضى وآخرون يضربون في الأرض يبتغون من فضل الله وآخرون يقاتلون في سبيل الله فاقرأوا ما تيسر منه. This is because there was an obligation on the Sahaba to pray at night for a long period of time. قم الليل إلا قليلا نصفه أو انقص منه قليلا أو زد عليه ورتل القرآن ترتيلا. An obligation to pray almost half the night, give or take, half the night. We don't even do this in Ramadan, and that was an obligation on them the whole year. Imagine. So it was very tough on them, and that is tarbiyah, because this was the generation that is going to deliver Islam to the whole world, so that Islam lasts till the day of judgment. This had to be a very unique generation. This was the tarbiyah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, preparation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them. So that their hearts are linked to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so strongly. إن ناشئة الليل هي أشد وطئا وأقوى مقيلة أشد مواطأة للقلب وأقوى مقيلة. But as you see, some of them could not keep that obligation, and some of them could not pray half the night, give or take. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easy for them. And He says, عَلِمَ أَنْ سَيَكُونُ مِنْكُمْ مَرْضَى. Allah knows that some of you are sick. وَآخَرُونَ يَضْرِبُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ يَبْتَغُونَ مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. He knows that some of you have to wake up next morning and go for work and seek the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His favors in this dunya. وَآخَرُونَ يُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. And then He made it easy for them. فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنْهُ. Pray as much as you can. He left it open, and it then became a nafil and not a fard. It's not a fard anymore to pray at night. So these are examples, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even mentioned يَضْرِبُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ يَبْتَغُونَ مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ before He mentioned يُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, indicating that is a noble purpose. That is a noble purpose, even mentioned before jihad, because if you seek the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this dunya with the aim of protecting yourself and protecting your family and your kids are all Muslims, you are feeding Muslims, you are feeding yourself so that you obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one time a man came to him and said to him, I have a dirham, or I have a dinar. He said to him, تصدق به على نفسك. قال I have another one. He said تصدق به على زوجك. قال I have a third one. تصدق به على ولدك. قال I have a fourth one. He says يعني على من شئت. He says you have one dinar, be good to yourself, like if you need to eat, you need to drink. He says I have another one. He says give it to your wife. He says I have a third one, give it to your children. Then he says I have a fourth one. He says you can do whatever you want. So then you're trying to make yourself yourself sufficient and your family sufficient. Prophet ﷺ says لأن يحتطب أحدكم على ظهره خير له من أن يسأل الناس أعطوه أو منعوه. For one of you to go and just try to get some wood and sell it in the market, it is better for them than to go and ask people whether they give them or not. Inshallah we'll continue.